So yesterday we have discussed about arithmetic mean for ungrouped data. So today's class we will discuss about the arithmetic mean for group data. And again, under this group data, there are two types again, that is discrete series and continuous series. So under this discrete series, basically there are three methods that we use for calculation of arithmetic mean. Number one is the direct method, like the ungrouped data, and we also have the assume mean method even for this group data, and also step deviation method, likewise what we have discussed for ungrouped data. But the formula will be different when it comes to group data and the previous one, that is ungrouped data. So under this discrete series we have direct method, assume mean method, and step deviation method. So we are going to talk about the discrete series. So in case of this discrete series, the frequency against its observation is multiplied by the value of the observation. So here, in case of discrete series, frequency against its observation is multiplied. By what? It is multiplied by the value of the observation, as you will see when we do the example numerical problems. So the values obtained by multiplication of the values and also the frequency against its observation, the values obtained are summed up, they are added and divided by the total number of frequencies. So symbolically the formula can be represented like this. So arithmetic mean for group data under discrete series, when it talk about direct method, is given by summation of fx divided by summation f. First, what we have to do is we multiply, or the frequency against its observation is multiplied by the value of observation, and when we multiply we will get a value, and these values are summed up, they are added up and then divided again by the total number of frequencies, that is direct method. So let us see one example here. So question is, plots in a housing colony come in only three sizes, that is 100 square kilometer, 200 square kilometer, and 300 square kilometer. Meter. Sorry. And the number of plots are respectively 200, 50, and 10. So we have to calculate through direct method. So computation of arithmetic mean by direct method. What we have to do here is make a table like this. Plot size in square meter, that is x. We have 100, 200, and 300. Number of plots is given 200, 50, and then 10 respectively. So what we have to do is we have to multiply the frequencies. So this is the frequencies. We have to multiply these frequencies with that of the value of observations, with this. So we have fx. So when we multiply these two, and we have to multiply it in direct method, when we multiply this we have fx. 100 into 200 is 20,000, 200 into 50 is 10,000, 300 into 10 is 3,000. So what we have to do again, we have to sum up these values that we have obtained when we multiply this, and we have the summation here, 33,000. And number of plots, this is f. We have to get the summation of f also, so we have 260. And for that, after finding out this value, summation f and then summation f of x, we can apply the formula. So summation f of x is 33,000 and summation f is 260. And when we divide this, we have 126.92 square meters. So this is the way we calculate the direct method under group data for discrete series. So in this direct method, as I have mentioned, we have to multiply the frequencies of all the observations by the observations. We have frequency against each observation is multiplied. Frequencies is multiplied by the value of this observation. For that, we have summation f of x, summation fx, and we have the value here. And the formula for the direct method is summation fx divided by summation of f. And so the values that we have obtained here are to be again divided by the total number of frequencies. So this is the number of frequencies, total 260, and the values obtained is 33,000. So when we divide these values obtained by the number of frequencies, we have the answer. So that is for the direct method. What about the assume mean method? So the answer is, before going to the assume mean method, we have the answer 126.92 square meter. So the mean plot size, in the housing colony is 126.92 square meter. So we have found out the mean plot size for the 3 household housing colony here through the direct method. So as in case of this assume mean method, so in case of this, we are talking about assume mean method here. So in case of individual series like this, calculations can be simplified by using this assume mean method again. So instead of going through this long calculations, we can further simplify this calculation by assume mean method. How? So as described earlier with a simple modification. So the process is very similar with the ungrouped data here when we talk about group data also, because direct method, assume mean method, step deviation method, they are all the same, though the formula may be a little bit different. So as described, as we have discussed earlier with a simple modification, since frequency of its item is given here, frequency of this item is given here, we multiply its deviation, that is d. We multiply this deviation by the frequency to get fd. So the formula for assume mean method is a plus summation fd divided by summation f. So we have to find out summation fd and summation f. So how do we find out d? D is the deviation from the assumed mean method. So here our assumed mean is 200. That is why we are minusing x minus 200. So 200 is our assumed mean. So to find out this d deviation, we have to assume a number that is 200. And to get this d, we have to minus all these observations by our assumed mean. So 100 minus 100 minus 200 is 100. So earlier I have made some mistake in this table, and your book is also wrong here. So clarify it with your book. So under this assume mean method, we have to find out summation fd and summation d. So to find out d, we have to assume, as it is assume mean method, we have to assume a mean, that is 200. So we, in this example, we are assuming that 200 is our assumed mean. So to get this d, we have to minus these two number, that is x, that is variable here, and then our assumed mean, and you will get d. So 100 minus 200 is minus 100, and then 200 minus 200 is 0, and then 300 minus 200 is plus 100, and these two cancel, and our summation d is 0. So now we have to find out again fd. Why are we finding out d is? We have to get summation fd, that is in the formula that is so fd, f into d, we have to multiply. So again, allow me to correct myself. I think your table is correct, because this d dash and fd dash is there in the table for step deviation method. So in short, for assume mean method, what we have to do is you have to find out the summation fd and summation f, and a is the assume mean. So this we have already discussed how to find out summation fd and summation f even in the ungrouped data. So coming to the last one, that is step deviation method. What we have to find is you have to find out d dash and then summation f, and also when you already found out this d dash, you multiply f d dash and find out the summation of f d dash, and multiply by the common factor. So a here again is assume mean. So d dash is nothing but deviation divided by the common factor. So d is x minus a, as we have learned earlier, and so that is how x minus a comes here. And from this we derive that the formula is a plus summation f d dash divided by summation f into common factor c. So these are the three methods that we use under discrete series.